Okay, so we're back.
Oh, hey, how are you?
Yeah, so a week has passed, and we were in
Really?
this heated discussion about hairbands.
I'm wearing the same damn clothes from last week. Do you not let me shower?
God damn, my fucking armpits stink.
Oh my god. So
I'm a fucking skank.
yes.
So, last week's video, if you saw it, who started the hairband party? We determined that it was Kiss.
We talked about it. We talked about some of the great
Now-
hairbands of the time.
This week, who was late to the party?
Now picture it. 1991, 92.
I'm gonna say like 88, 89 to maybe 92.
That was the peak. Like, hairbands are still up here.
One of the first ones that comes to my mind as far as late to the party, Skid Row.
Yes.
They came out with their self-titled album, 1989.
89.
Kick-ass album.
Sebastian Bach has some of the greatest vocals
And then they
to
came out
this
with,
day.
and then 2 years later they came out with Monkey Business.
Yep. Still a great album.
Both great albums.
Even though they're considered wuss rock. Winger.
Winger is definitely was rock.
But they had some hits.
They did. Miles Away, but it was all over the pop stations.
You know what? I don't care.
Miles Away!
I don't give a fuck what you say. Those power ballads made them fucking money.
Well, I mean, one other thing too.
Every hairband had a power ballad.
Not to sound like an asshole in front of the kids, but they definitely got pussy because of it.
Yes, they did. Especially, she's only 17.
God damn it, that's fucking creepy now.
Especially now when you realize, oh, he's been fucking underage girls.
Who's with that?
Well, I mean, think about this though. So the girls they were going after back then, yeah, they were 17. Let's think about this. This was in 89, 90, 91.
I don't care.
The girls, the 17-year-old girls now are probably like 40 or 50.
I don't give a
So
fuck.
it totally redeemed itself.
Like, the lyrics literally say, she's only 17, but she's good enough for me.
I don't know, like
Wait
if somebody who never heard hair bands before would hear that song, they'd be like, "That's a creepy motherfucker."
No, thank you. Oh wow,
that is a song that didn't age well.
Not at all.
But I like it. I still like the song.
Now another band that probably epitomizes the late to the party, Danger Danger.
Yes, and good album too.
I have been
Bang bang.
I have actually been listening to them.
I have
quite
the
a
whole
lot.
album on CD, you know.
Yeah, quite a lot. I've been listening to them, and I
Did
thought
they only have one album?
they had a couple. Let me bring that up, but
I think the first album was like Danger Danger in '89, if I recall.
it was in
correctly.
'89.
I bought the CD because I was on a hair binge after hair bands were dead.
And the problem is that they just came in way too late. If they had been in there in the '87 era,
Or
I think-
earlier.
I think they would have been huge. Not danger, not damper. Jesus Christ, I can't spell.
It's weird how bands back then would use the same word twice.
Well, they did it a couple times in their songs. Bang Bang, Naughty Naughty.
Oh yeah.
Let's get naughty naughty.
It wasn't as popular, but I remember hearing it on like House of Hair or something.
Right.
Like
So,
Dee Snider had like, I don't know if he even still does that show or not. He did it for years.
so the original Danger Danger came out in '89. Their last album came out 2011.
Oh wow.
So they were making music up until then.
But they probably had their minute of fame in '89 and then dropped off.
But honestly, I didn't even know who they were until I watched like behind the
98
music.
YCR actually played them.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't hear them until like behind the music or something like that, where they were doing hair bands.
I used to hear them on 98 YCR.
Huh? I did not hear them. Who else would be late to the party?
Definitely Winger.
Winger, Firehouse.
Yes.
Firehouse.
And they're good.
very good.
I got to see them. I got to see them live at Shippensburg Fair years ago, as I mentioned in the last video.
It's a shame. CJ, I forget his last
Bye
name.
bye, baby, bye bye.
Yeah, he just.
That's all she wrote.
I believe he just passed away.
Really?
Yeah, the lead singer for Firehouse just died.
I got to see them live though.
I mean,
It was back in '07. Like hair bands weren't a thing then.
Again-
But yet they were still going to like these fairgrounds and
yeah.
shit.
Again, I repeat myself over and over again. If these guys had just been a few years earlier, I think they would have been bigger than what they were. But then
there was a lot of bands that kind of missed it there.
But Firehouse was huge in our time, especially at our party dances.
Do you remember, like, it was the Video Music Awards? They beat out Nirvana for the best new band.
I do remember that.
And then, a year later, Nirvana makes it big, and who the fuck cares about Firehouse?
I do remember that, like 91, 92.
Yeah, because Nirvana comes out with Nevermind with the baby showing his penis in the pool, and that shit hit big.
Firehouse beat Nirvana for best metal album.
But then Nirvana beat him out for, like, popularity.
Right, because...
I like Nirvana, I respect them, I love all eras of rock.
Because
I can't discriminate.
We talked about in 92, the Hairbands were still at their peak, but then along comes Nirvana, and boom!
Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, they kind of like kicked them out of the fucking party.
Industry changes overnight. Pretty much. Nirvana hits with Nevermind, and
it was like an abrupt change back in 91, 92-ish.
Smells Like Teen Spirit came out because these weren't party guys. These weren't guys going out trying to get laid.
They were in Seattle, they were depressed as fuck.
Yeah, they were pissed off at shit that was going on in their lives, and they were going to sing about it. And people suddenly got into that. And they're like, huh.
While wearing flannel.
Yeah, we're like, huh. We kind of relate to these guys more than this, because we're not going out to the Sunset Strip every night and partying and getting drunk and laid. We want to talk to these guys who work at a convenience store just trying to make rent.
I first started buying my own music right about that transition, so I kind of have a mix of, like, you got Jackal, you got Aerosmith, you got Def Leppard, Nirvana.
Yeah.
Like, I was buying tapes in that time, and then by the time I started buying CDs, we were fully in the grunge era.
Because when grunge was getting bigger, the Hairbands were still there, but they were slowly...
Nobody gave a fuck.
Like, Poison was still there, Def Leppard was still there. They were selling, but
oh, hell, Def Leppard even made an album in 99. You remember that?
Yeah, but they weren't selling a lot. Like,
no.
Grunge just took over, almost overnight, like we said.
But even grunge was, like, by 99, when Def Leppard had their last, major album, it's like new metal was kind of coming in by that time, you know? Like, that era kind of came in and washed grunge out.
Yeah, I mean, that's not to say that these bands who we say are late to the party, they're still going, they're still touring, they're still making money somehow.
But you gotta respect it.
I do. Absolutely I do. Because people are still going out there and listening to them.
Hey, what, Hairbands I saw live, Firehouse at Shippensburg Fair, Kicks at Brunswick Fire Hall, you and I went there to see them in Silvertongue.
Yep.
And Motley Crue and Poison, New York Dolls Open Up, which is a totally different era.
It's still going strong.
Yeah, so we actually got to see some good hair bands even in our time.
Yeah. And
then in the grunge era, we saw Stone Temple Pilots. No. I know you're not big into grunge, but I gotta respect it, rest in peace, Scott.
On STP was a horrible show.
Me and Charlie made it up almost to the front row on that show. Yeah. You remember that?
STP was a horrible fucking show. I'm sorry.
You didn't like it?
I did not like STP. I liked every other band that was there.
I like the song Wicker Man, though. Like, whenever he gets on the bullhorn and does that one little segment.
Yeah, Scott Weiland was just not on his A-game then.
And then he died, like, a year or two later.
Yeah.
Didn't they get, like, a new lead singer or something after that?
They may have. Who else is on? Let's
I feel like 3 Days Grace should have stole that show.
Bad English, we said, was kind of late to the party.
They were late to the party, but yet they were too popish. I don't know. They weren't really heavy enough, in my opinion, to be hairband.
They definitely...
They sort of tiered that hairband / pop era back then.
Right. Oh, shit.
What?
You talk about late to the party. These two motherfuckers would have been huge in 87 to 89. Nelson.
Oh, the twins.
Gunnar and Matthew Nelson.
After the rain.
No embarrassment.
Yeah, I mean, they had their minute of popularity.
No embarrassment or nothing. I owned that fucking album.
Kids these days will never know what they are.
I rocked out to I Can't Live Without Your Love and Affection. I definitely did that.
After the Rain, I think, is my favorite song from them.
Yeah.
See, like, back then, like, I would say, like, early to mid-2000s, I was in the CD club. So I was like catching up on hairbands back then. Whenever new metal was like at its peak and grunge was sort of like off to the side, hairbands were off to their side.
Yeah.
I was sort of like catching up on hairbands back then. And Nelson, I actually bought a greatest hits CD off of them. Of Nelson. You know, like the 20th century, whatever the fuck.
Duran Duran, would that be hairband?
I would call them pop. But I do like them.
Yeah, Duran Duran you kind of build up on.
I would say they're more on the pop side of things in the 80s.
And that's the difference too, because people
Duran Duran, they could get a pussy wet.
Yeah, but people will say like, oh, hair metal, hair bands, or this. It was all pop music because it was on the stations. It was everywhere.
98 YCR played them.
Yeah, it wasn't just regulated to specific rock stations. It was everywhere.
But Duran Duran, I don't know, like, they weren't metal. They were some form of rock, but yet they were still pop. They sort of teetered right there. You never heard Duran Duran on 93.5 WTPA, but you heard them on 98 YCR, so I would say they're more pop.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Like, WTPA is like, we're not fucking with this.
Not at all. I'm trying to think of
93.5 WTPA.
I'm trying to think of...
I miss those days.
Coffee and the Jammer.
Yeah, rest in peace, Coffee.
Yeah.
Or was it Jammer? I think Jammer died.
Jammer died. I'm trying to think of
Jen Shade's still alive.
Yep.
On 105.70X.
I'm trying to think of other bands that relate to the party. I mean...
Would you consider Alice Cooper a hair band? Like, granted, he started in the 60s.
That was a good question.
Through the 70s.
I was even going to bring that up.
But yet, the song Poison would kind of fit the demographic.
In 87, when Trash dropped.
I would say like mid-80s to maybe mid-90s, he was hair band.
Because I did not listen to Alice Cooper religiously until 87 with Trash. Then I went back...
What was the one album he came out with in 87? It wasn't Trash. It was before that.
Constrictor?
It was either that. There was like... He did like two albums before Trash that was pretty good.
86 was Constrictor. I know that.
You had that CD.
Let me look.
87 was Raise Your Fists and Yell.
Yes.
And then 89 was Trash, which got real fucking popular.
Fucking Alice Cooper.
And then 91 was Hey Stupid.
Yeah, my favorite album.
94, he came out with one in 94, but hairbands were out the window by then.
Last Temptation.
Okay.
Which, if you listen to The Last Temptation around that time...
But Last Temptation was kind of more hairband.
I wouldn't even call it hairband. I would call it more 70s rock.
He kind of reverted.
Yeah. Because it's very, like, easy listening. It's not really heavy or anything like that.
I feel like him and Ozzy Osbourne sort of tie when it comes to, like, coming out with albums. If you consider Ozzy's Sabbath material and put it together with a solo, him and Ozzy sort of have, like, a neck-and-neck record of putting out albums for how many years?
Right. So 86 was Constrictor. 86 was also Raise Your Fist and Yell. Trash was 89.
Oh, that's a fucking good album. Like,
I thought it was...
that is, like, the best album he ever did.
Yeah, Trash, I thought, was 87, but...
No, that was in 89.
Hey Stupid, 91.
Yeah, my dad had the tape. Played it all the time when we were in the truck.
And then he goes from Fistful of Alice in 96. He takes a long break and doesn't release...
You said long.
He doesn't release Brutal Planet until 2003.
And Brutal Planet was actually decent.
Brutal Planet is a complete change.
Brutal Planet was, like, pretty... hard.
Heavy, yeah, like, because the first song is
maybe he was trying to get with more of the new metal theme.
But that's
that time.
That's why I love Alice Cooper. He's always changing his style. He's always adapting to what is around him.
But as of now, I would say Ozzy sort of has the record if you include Black Sabbath, because he came out with his last album was in 2022. Oh, I'm having a brain fart. Patient Number 9. That was his last album.
And Ozzy, you could throw into the hair bands.
You could throw his ballads in there. That's what I'm gonna say.
You could.
Mama, I'm Coming Home would definitely fit with the hair band thing.
Mm-hmm.
But then you take his other stuff from the 80s. It's more metal.
Can be.
I don't know. He kind of teeters between hair bands and hardcore metal.
Yeah, he's on that edge of people from the hardcore side like him, but also the hairband side like him too.
you could more or less, like, most of his stuff you categorize with, like, old school Metallica, old school Megadeth.
Yeah.
You know, old school AC/DC, that kind of thing.
Yeah, but again, it's all...
But Ozzy's fucking Ozzy. There's no denying it. That man will choose to die.
He will choose to die.
The day he dies, I'm going to cry like a motherfucker.
I love that analogy. It's like, he's not just going to...
You told me this in Blizzardville one day when we were having Christmas.
Yeah, he's not just going to fall over and die. He is going to be like, okay, I'm done.
You know, he wants to record one more album before his career ends. He recorded Ordinary Man in 2020, and then 2022 was Patient Number 9. He wants to do another one before he's done.
The only time you can understand him is when he's singing.
He did Scream in 2010 and took a big long break until Ordinary Man, but he got back together with Black Sabbath and did the album 13,
yeah.
Which, mind blown, I listened to the album 13, and it's sort of like full circle. You hear the last track on 13, and the outro is the same thing as the intro to the song Black Sabbath on the first album, where you hear the thunder and, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, they ended with that on 13, and it's like, holy shit, this came full circle after 40-some years.
Yep. And talking about another band that kind of went that route of late to the party, but bringing back White Lion again.
Wait! Wait! I never got a chance to love you!
Their last big album was Main Attraction in '91. I talked to you about that before. Surprisingly, pretty damn good album, if you've never listened to it.
What hit songs are on that? Maybe I'll know it. I don't fucking know.
Lights and Thunder, Broken Heart.
I know Broken Heart.
Let me look at their popular songs. That might help.
Well, didn't they kind of phase out after '91?
They did. Mike Tramp kind of left the band. They did Radar Love.
Oh, the cover, yes.
Yeah, and that was pretty much the last time we heard from them. I'm kicking the glasses, sorry.
Behind the scenes here at 96 on the Whip.
But, man, it was... Okay, how about this? Let me ask you a question while we wrap this up. How would you describe the Hairband era?
Kick-ass.
Kick-ass?
I liked it. I like going back to it. I'm never disappointed.
Word association for me. Hairbands, fun.
They just wanted to party and they didn't give a fuck.
There was no political message. There was no fight the power. There was no our life sucks. It was no.
Oh, another late to the party band, LA Guns.
LA Guns.
You remember them?
Yep. That is how I describe hair metal. It's going out, having fun, just having a few drinks, maybe meeting a girl, taking her back.
Getting laid.
Getting laid, going back out. And
Don't do it yet.
Don't. That is how I would describe hair metal to somebody who has never listened to hair metal. It's like Poison song, nothing but a good time. That's all it is.
Dude, like 40 years from now, we're gonna be in the fucking nursing home explaining this to the nurses and shit. Like, hair metal was the shit, and they're gonna play it over the intercom, and like all the kids to the people in there, and gonna be like, "This is lame as fuck."
Like, why are we listening?
Lame AF. I don't like it.
There's no government conspiracy theories. I don't like it.
Don't ever do lame AF again, you fucker.
Sorry.
So, my throat is killing me.
When you walk into Walmart and hear like a kick-ass song on the intercom, you know you're getting old.
Yeah. So, my throat is literally bleeding at this point because I have been yelling and screaming for so much, but...
MTV's fault.
Fuck you, MTV. You died. You go to hell and you die again.
Rest in peace. 1981 to 2024, I guess since the news died.
But hair metal, man. If you don't like it, that's to each your own, but it was a fun time.
I like, this is my opinion, like, I'll listen to any rock that ranges from, like, the Beatles all the way to Five Finger Death Punch. I don't discriminate.
What?
I like all the eras. That's just me.
It was a time to be alive, that's for sure. Just these guys coming out with all this teased up hair, just singing songs about having a good time. That's it. That's hair metal.
I don't understand how, like, Kiss took off the makeup and, like, blended in right with the hairbands. It's kind of weird how they did that.
Their hair was already teased up anyway. They might as well just keep that going.
And then they licked it up.
Well, Gene Simmons definitely did.
Fuck yeah, you got that tongue longer than his dick.
Hell yeah.
Compensation.
I don't blame him.
So, late to the party. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah. I'm sure we missed a ton of bands, but oh well.
I wonder if there was like hairbands that tried to start off in '93 and record company said, "Fuck you, we're not doing it. We're not signing you."
I'm sure there were. Like I said, Danger started late. If they would have been earlier.
Slaughter was another one.
We forgot Slaughter.
So, kind of a side story to Slaughter. Me and Mike, Tiff's husband, back in 2012, they did Gettysburg Bike Week.
Yeah.
We got to see them live at Gettysburg Bike Week. It was fucking awesome.
Up all night.
I'm pretty damn sure
Day.
I uploaded videos to that show here on this channel. I'm sure you can find them.
Yep. Perfect analogy of the party lifestyle of a hairband. Up all night, sleep all day.
But yeah, but they were definitely late. They had like 2 good albums, and what the fuck happened?
Yeah. Grunge.
But yeah, but that's another one that I saw live in the hairband era.
So
a little late, but better late than never.
Yep. So, what will be the next topic for the next vlog? Who knows?
Tune in next week, you'll find out.
We'll talk about something. It could be pop music, it could be rap music, it could be anything. Who knows? Music.
Alright, man. Peace out, fuckers. Later.